You look so done up and beautiful. I look like a,
I took my hair down. Well, I dressed up nice today, so.
yeah, that was cute. I like that.
I was like, I'm gonna go put some heels on. I'm gonna pretend like, you know. Can you hear my music?
Yeah.
Because I thought it'd be
So
good to.
I'm going to take my laptop outside for that mobile app training with Lindsay and
Okay.
sit outside in the sun. I'm so excited.
Well, I have a gong to play as well.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let me stop the music there. Okay, so, all right.
Do you want me to make you the host?
Or just, do you want to attempt to put it on Facebook Live? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, let me
Can't
do it.
hurt.
Share in a group.
Mm-hmm.
KWNKE. Oh.
It's easy. I mean, it's not hard.
Okay, it's preparing.
And I mean, then I could just play my music and have the first slide open or whatever.
Okay. Do you want me to hit go live? Oops. Where'd it go? Group. Yeah, I mean, I have the go live button, so that's all I need, right?
Yep, and then how do I share my screen? It went away.
If you hover, it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
You can't share screen.
Invite participants, chat, record on this computer. Just a second. Oh, there it is.
More. Okay.
I got it. Oof. All right, I'll hit share, and then I'll just bring up the PowerPoint. Start with this. Play some music.
I'm gonna make it go live to see if it shows up.
Okay.
Oops, I didn't do the title. Huh. We're on there.
Okay.
I love this song. So I think the easiest, Kim, is going to be any comments in Facebook I can address after the meeting. It's just going to be too hard to flip-flop, I think.
Okay.
So if you want to mention that, otherwise.
Okay.
It's really hard when you only have one screen to manage both, because I can see your screen on my screen and then Facebook. It's just like, what am I looking at? So.
Okay, cool. All right, well.
3 minutes.
Yep.
And then I'll make sure, oh, it's recording too, that's good.
Oh, I should have played my playlist instead.
Full swing and explosions of life make allergies really zing.
Who cares about your allergies? Nobody wants to hear that you have allergies because we're just going to hear you have corona. We don't care.
Mm-hmm. And Melissa says your hair looks great.
I watched it today. I fluffed it up just for the team meeting.
Should all be dancing.
Yeah, we should have a screen that has a countdown, like meeting to start in
5, 4, 3.
Yeah.
At the end of this, we're going to have the best looking, like, virtual meeting ever.
I know. It's like every week we get better and better.
And actually, what a cool thing, instead of just doing Facebook Live, to do this to try and get more people to participate that don't want to drive in.
Yeah.
And actually participate instead of just listening.
Yeah. For sure. All right, guys. I'm just going to wait like a minute or two. Not too long, but... Do we have a lot of people on Zoom, Abby?
Zoom, we've got like 24, and that includes leadership, but
Okay.
Facebook, we've got a handful.
All right. Well, we'll get this party started. So to make it official, I have a surprise.
Love it.
Settle down, people. Take it down a notch. All right. Let's put this baby in present mode. Well, welcome to April 7th, everybody. It's Easter week.
Yay.
I should have worn my Easter bunny ears. So good to see you all. So today we do have a couple of featured guests. So our surprise guest is, for those of you that took Bold last year, we have Michael Flores, who will be on the call shortly. He's going to share some inspiration and updates about Bold coming up. And then we also have Michelle Glenn from HSA Home Warranty. Obviously, we have some updates, and we have First Bank / Bank 59. So, all right. So first of all, we have a congratulations in order. The Mitchells will now be keeping 100% of their commission. Nice job, Mitchells. Do we know if Michael's on the call yet? Abby, where'd Abby go? Michael, are you on the call yet? I don't know if he is.
He's not showing up as
Okay.
registered.
Okay, thank you. We will then wait till he gets on the call. So I will skip his slide for the moment. Abby, if you could just let me know when Michael gets on.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're going to skip all those. Michelle Glenn, are you on the call?
I am.
Awesome. Would you like to start?
Sure. What I have to share is about 5 minutes or so, but
Okay,
I would like to share my screen if I could.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second, please. Here we go. Actually, Kim, it looks like you're going to have to stop sharing your screen so I can share mine.
All right. I have stopped.
Thank you. Okay, here we go.
Perfect.
Got it? You see it?
Yep.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure that you all knew what HSA was doing to take care of your clients, our customers, and of course their home warranty needs during this time. So to reduce the spread of COVID-19, we've asked our contractors to notify us immediately if they've been exposed or infected so we can reroute their service requests. We've also shared CDC best practices, recommended service visit precautions to help protect their customers as well as themselves. And so of course, we'll continue to work closely with our contractors so they can maintain a safe, high quality service experience as the impact of the virus evolves. So when filing a claim, the customer receives a message asking them to reach out to HSA at a special phone number if they or a close contact has been diagnosed with COVID-19 or if a member of their household is quarantined. And we will work with them and the contractors to find a solution. This is especially important if they have something like a fridge that is out or a washer or a furnace or something. So when I filed an electrical claim a couple weeks ago, I was contacted by the vendor to set the appointment. And I was asked several questions about my current health status, specifically if I had a fever, dry cough, headache, or sore throat. And if I did have one or many of those symptoms, I would have been asked to reschedule the appointment. Because I was okay with set the appointment, the tech was careful not to touch anything that he didn't have to. He kept his distance and signed an X for me on his phone, so I didn't have to touch his phone to say things were repaired to my satisfaction. So I didn't have any contact with him. Of course, I went, he was touching my switches and stuff, so of course I went and disinfected, but he did the best that he could, and I felt safe. So if anyone has any questions about this, or if you have a client that has questions about how we are handling claims that they may file, please reach out to me. So I have an exciting announcement, but back in 2019, December, Front Door, which is the company that owns HSA as well as my sister brands, acquired Stream, which is a Portland-based technology startup that uses enhanced augmented reality, or AR, computer vision and machine learning to help contractors diagnose breakdowns and complete simple repairs for items in the home. For example, appliances, furnaces, ACs, and water heaters. So for the homeowner, Stream makes the claims process more convenient and immediate because it means that an appointment can often be scheduled for the same day they file their claim if they agree to use the Stream interface. And if it's a simple fix or adjustment, it can often be done by the homeowner with the technician's guidance. So the goal of this is to accelerate our work to transform the service experience for homeowners and ultimately reduce costs, mistakes, and time by eliminating the need for multiple truck rolls at the home. So here's how it works. Homeowners either download the Stream app or they go to the Stream's website using their smartphone's internet browser, and then using the smartphone camera to instantly connect with a tech who can remotely see the item that needs attention. The tech can then remotely guide the homeowner using the easy-to-use AR tools and use of the customer's camera to capture a variety of important details, such as brand, model, serial number, measurements of the space that the item is located. So then these details can help reduce time required for completing repairs, and in some cases, even eliminate the need for a tech to visit the home in the event the tech is able to offer a simple do-it-yourself solution. So again, reducing time, inconvenience, and money spent. So I wanted to share with you that although the launch of Stream was intended to be done in phases throughout 2020, because of the situation that we find ourselves in, we thought we had an awesome opportunity. So 2 weeks ago, Front Door launched Stream to all of our preferred vendors, as opposed to phases. And as of last Friday, 177 vendors across the country actually accepted that opportunity, and many have already seen immediate results in accuracy of part identification and time saved for the customer as well as the vendor. So if you want to learn more, you can actually go to Stream's website at stream.pro. There will be additional opportunities using Stream coming down the line that will be, again, game changers for our industry, home warranty customers, and just consumers in general. So there will be more that I can share with this as we move forward. So I know that's a lot. It's probably really confusing. So does anybody have any questions about this?
Abby, were there any questions?
We have a question asking how many vendors there are in total.
Well, we have 16,000 vendors across the nation, but here in Wisconsin, I don't actually have that information because of the fact that it's composed of 4 different territories. But I have asked management to ask the question as to how many vendors in the state of Wisconsin have actually jumped on this opportunity. It is proprietary information. They will not even let us salespeople know the name of the vendors that are using it. But I at least am trying to get the numbers, how many in this area are using this technology. So.
Cool. And then another question, can they diagnose and order parts?
Yeah, that is the whole premise of this system, is they actually go use their phone, the homeowner uses their phone, and using their camera and then diagnostic equipment or capabilities that Stream has, they work with the smartphone camera and the homeowner to lead them through the checklist of things that they need to check. And they basically take over the homeowner's phone, and they do have to agree with that. They have to, let them shadow it. And they go and use these pointers where they will go and put like an arrow saying, okay, now point your phone to this, now take a picture of that. And it immediately will remote back or transmit that information back to the technician at Stream. And then it will especially help with part recognition, is that a lot of complaints that we get is that the vendor will write down the wrong serial number and then they order the wrong part. And then now that's another truck roll and inconvenience and frustration on the homeowner's part. So this technology will eliminate that, where it actually just puts it right into the Stream capabilities, and the part information is automatically downloaded, so there's no way that it could be incorrectly input. So that's what this is about, and that's why that's a game changer, is that this all happens within a matter of minutes. So
cool. I don't see any other questions.
Awesome. Please look for more information as I learn it, and if when I do get the number of vendors that have taken us up on this offer, I will share that information with you. But in the meantime, there's my contact info if you want to reach out.
Sweet.
Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
Kim, it does look like Michael is on, just so you know.
Okay, great. Just a second. Let me move to my sharing screen and then I'll bring you up, Michael. And how awesome is that? Thank you, Michelle Glenn. It kind of reminds me of Teledoc. And one of the lines that recently came out, I don't remember who said it. I feel like it was, on one of the Zoom calls or something, efficiency out of necessity. So efficiency out of necessity. So that's awesome. All right, well, Michael Flores, I am going to give you the floor. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
Great.
Look at Scott with that beard. What is happening?
Look good, feel good, Michael.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. I got a text message yesterday from Kim. It said, do you have the time? And, surprisingly, noon was my only time slot today that I really could do. And so when you said noon, I was like, oh yeah, I could do that. All right. So Kim, give me an idea. What do you guys want me to talk about? What specifically? I know you talked about some things my team is doing or whatnot. I just want to make sure I do something of value that you guys haven't covered yet recently.
Yeah, definitely. I would love for you to share a little bit about what you're doing right now, because you're working out of your home and your team is. What are you doing on a daily basis to keep everybody energized and in production? And then I do have a couple slides to share so that you can take some time and talk to everybody about the launch of the new Bold. So
Cool. Awesome. So one of the things, so I'll give you a rundown, and I'm gonna work on my screen here because I'm gonna stop this virtual background because I'm gonna show something really quickly. Okay. So one of the things we did immediately as a team is, just so that you have some background on who we are as a real estate organization within my team specifically, is we operate remote already. So we don't have the old school, and if you do this, it's not bad. It's just, we don't have you coming into the office. We're not an office team. I have some office space in my office, and that's really just for my admin team, or if an agent wants to come in and print something or come get a buyer's packet or a listing packet or something. However, from a team perspective, we did everything already remotely or digitally. We didn't do in person. Once a month, we got together as a team and we did something fun. And yet, other than that, everything was done via Zoom. And so a lot of this hasn't changed for us. So I'll just give you an idea of what we did already and how we were able to, as soon as this happened and said, okay, you have to stay home, we were like, okay, no big deal. We do that already. So no big deal. So we do 8:30 huddles, and we do them via Zoom every morning, 8:30, and we do them for 30 minutes. And so that 8:30, let me back up. The first thing we did is 8 o'clock every morning we have script practice. And we joined, and I'm not sure if this is open to everybody. However, we joined Craig Goodliff, who's a Maps Mastery coach, and he has some script practice that he does. And so we joined him, and what he does is he has these cyberbackers from all over the world. And so we joined him in his script practice. So every morning at 8 o'clock, my team script practices, and then 8:30 in the morning, we do a stand-up or we do a Zoom call. And, my friends, my lady friends on here, sometimes it's 8:30 in the morning. You're like, yeah, be kidding me. I don't really care what you look like. I don't care what's going on. You don't have to be fully dressed. We don't require any of that on our stuff. Just we do ask that you show your photo. Just be where we won't get in trouble. That's what we tell people. Just be dressed enough so we won't get in trouble. So we do that at 8:30, and that call is very much, what did you do yesterday? What is your goal for today? Did you do the goal that you set for yesterday? And it's really yes or no, and that's not a lot of reasons, Kim. It's just I either did it or didn't. And then here's what I'm going to do today, and then if they have a question or a concern or something came up during their day the day before and they want to talk about it with the team, they can bring it up then. And then we'll usually give them something kind of coaching that morning or some type of motivation or something that will help them for the rest of their day. And then we're done by 9 o'clock. And then our team has gone to where we followed Gary Keller and we said, okay, Gary said 4 hours of lead gen a day. So we're doing 4 hours, 9 to 1. Okay. And we have a Google Doc, okay, that we created, and the agents every hour are supposed to be putting in their numbers. Now, I'll be honest, I don't run the team day to day, so I don't check it to see if that's what they're doing. However, that's what I'm being told is happening. Okay. And so they're supposed to lead gen for 50 minutes, take a 10-minute break, lead gen for 50 minutes, 10-minute break, and do that all the way from 9 to 1. And the goal, or not even the goal, the expectation is 40 contacts a day. So we got rid of the 20 because Gary said double everything, and Bold was 20. So we said, okay, we're going to 40. Okay. And so, and I know some of your agents right now are probably like, this guy's crazy. And yet that's what we're doing. Right. And so And then after 1 o'clock, quite frankly, it's whatever you got to do. It's your day. You do what you want. And so we don't have any strict or any structure for the rest of the day for the agents. It's really the morning time is structured. After that, a lot of them are stay-at-home moms and dads that are having to teach school, right? So they're teaching school. I do have some that don't do the 9 to 1. I have one who's a stay-at-home mom. I mean, she's a single mom, so she doesn't do the 9 to 1 full-fledged. She does some. She'll teach school to her kid, give them lunch and do all that, and then she'll do some more in the afternoon. So we're flexible. It's not like regimented and you got to do it this way. And yet what we're asking for is 4 hours of lead gen. And then the other thing we're doing is, and we've always done this, is we do Zoom team meetings every Monday, and it's a 2-hour team meeting on Monday. It's from 1 to 3. And I will tell you about an hour and 15 minutes of that is legitimate, like information and coaching and teaching. And probably about 30, 40 minutes is just us cracking up and saying dumb things to each other. Right. And people doing silly things. I got a lot of jokesters on my team, so they just do silly jokester things that people do. And so that's probably about 30, 40 minutes of it, to be honest with you. So does that give you an idea of what we're doing? So it's, other than that, we're doing virtual consultations. We're doing seller consultations and buyer consultations virtually. Quite frankly, to be honest with you, we've even had sellers who said they wanted us to come to the house. And so we did. And the seller and the agent, I just told the agent, be very careful. And so the agent and the seller worked out what that looked like. For instance, I went to a listing consultation. They wanted me to come to the house. And so he left the house, him and his family left, got in the car. I got to the house, I walked through it and I waved at him. I saw him in the car. I got back in my car, got back to the house. And then we talked about pricing and all that stuff over Zoom. And so I never saw them. I did go into their house. I took a little risk. I put a mask on and some gloves, but I did do that because they asked me to come walk through it, right? He wasn't comfortable with just me watching it via video. He wanted me to walk through it. So I said, okay. So we're doing all the same things other agents are doing as far as the virtual stuff is concerned. And over the last 3 weeks since this stuff has happened, we've probably taken, I don't know, not that many, probably 6 listings and put probably 4 or 5 deals under contract. And so that's a little bit about what we're doing. Does that help?
Yeah, that's great, Michael. I guess to provide context, how many people do you have on your team, and how many homes will you, how many units will you sell this year?
Okay, so we have, if I'm included, we have 5 agents and we have 4 admin. And we'll sell probably 140 this year.
Okay.
We're on pace for 140 as of right now. So yeah, that's what we'll be at. We have 41 closed and pended already. And our average price point's about $285.
And where are you located again?
Katy, Texas, just west of Houston.
Okay. So, and have you, we're all listening to the Pivot Shift with James Shaw. Yeah. And so you're lead genning. Are you following, the same thing that we're talking about, care, compassion, common sense? I guess tell me a little bit more about any lead gen advice and conversations that are working for you. Yeah,
it's really just how are you doing? It's the Ford conversation we talked about in Bold in October, right? It's just family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, and then yet using the compassion and the care. It's really mainly database where we're getting our listings from. Some of it I did a social media campaign and we got a couple buyers from that, and yet most of it has been just calling our database consistently and not just doing it one time. So we've been really focused on making sure we talk to them as often as possible, depending how many people in your database. And then when it comes to the expireds piece, we still call expireds. However, we've gotten rid of all the old scripts and we just call the expireds and just say, hey, my name is Michael. I'm with Vantage Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. And I was just wondering how you guys are doing. And they're going to say, well, what do you mean? What do you mean how we're doing? We're not selling our house. No, I know. I saw that you were selling your house and yet you're not anymore. And really, we're just making courtesy calls to people who were on the market just to see how you're doing, making sure that you didn't take it off the market because of illness or anything like that. Is there anything we can do to serve you? And so that's been kind of the script and building more, building our database. And I'll tell you, our biggest thing that we've been saying before we get off the phone is, hey, one last thing, how can I serve you? What can I do for you? And I got agents who have delivered toilet paper. I got agents who've delivered hand sanitizer. I have agents giving gift cards to somebody who found out she had breast cancer during coronavirus. I have agents that are just, and my admin team too, that are just doing various things, because as they say, how can I help you? Then they're letting the team know, and the team's doing what we can to come up with anything that people ask. For instance, I had a past client say, Michael, I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to sound crazy. She goes, I can't find toilet bowl cleaner anywhere, and it's driving me nuts. I mean, I think that's the most craziest thing. And so I said, okay, well, I happen to be out and about, and I stopped in at a Dollar General just to see, and sure enough, she said she needed paper towels and toilet bowl cleaner, and I found both, and I delivered them to her. So that's it. It's not doing anything other than that, right? And still monitoring the social distancing and the CDC. And, Texas was a lot different than maybe you experienced there in Wisconsin, is that our governor did not make a blanketed statement for our state until about a week ago. Before then, every county was on their own. Well, my team operates in about 15 counties. And so I had some counties where I was essential, and I had other counties where I was not essential. And so it was really a balance within our team of how do we operate and what do we do to make sure that we can help people. So that's what it is. Yeah.
Good. Abby, were there any questions?
No, I didn't see any come up. Just
Perfect.
a bunch of hellos.
Yay. All right. Well, cool. I'd love for you to share a little bit about what's happening with Bold. So I do have a little slide up here. So what do we need to know?
Do you mind really quickly? I've been focusing people on this one thing. Do you mind if I do this real quick?
Sure.
So on page 113 of the one thing, we talk about this, and Scott, I know you've gone over this with your people. We talk about these 7 circles in Bold, and yet I think right now these are the most powerful thing. One of the most powerful things we can do. This page, if you start at 112 and go all the way through 116, because right now we're going nuts. Some of us are going nuts. Like, we're at home and we're tired, and we're not tired because we're working a lot. We're tired because our kids are driving us nuts a little bit with homeschool. Are you homeschooling in Wisconsin? Yes. So
yes, we are.
And so what happens is, and I started sharing this a couple of weeks ago, coaching some of the market centers I'm working with. And what it is that we are all looking for that sense of purpose. And what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? How do I get the schedule together, right? I told you guys a regimented schedule we created for our team. And that's not going to work for everybody, and that's okay. And yet, I'll tell you personally, our schedule is that at 8 o'clock, I'm doing breakfast for the house. And then around 11 o'clock, Trisha, my fiance, is doing the homework stuff. And then around 1 o'clock, the kids are done with homework. And then around 4 o'clock, we go outside for a bike ride or walk or whatever we got to do, play basketball. I got a basketball gym outside. And so what I found, though, is if you look at these 7 circles and you ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do for each of these 7 circles, right? Finances, spiritual health, whatever it is. This will be what helps you stay focused throughout the day and allow you a little bit of purpose. I think some of us, and I know I'm included in that, maybe our purpose is a little bit less. Maybe we feel like we're not living our purpose because we're not out showing houses or helping sellers or one of those things. And yet, if we focus on these 7 things, I think it'll help us have some purpose and some day-to-day routine of what needs to happen. Does that make sense, Kim?
Yeah, I love it.
And so I just wanted to say that. Now, let's talk about Bold Pivot. So cool. Listen, first thing I want to tell you is Bold Pivot, it's not Bold 2.0. It's completely different. It's $99, and it's going to be 8 hours a week of coaching. Now, it's 2 hours on Tuesday and Thursday starting May 5th, and it's going to be a live stream, just like Gary Keller's events are live stream. And it's going to be a rotation of the head coaches or the Bold coaches coming through and teaching some of these classes, okay? And it's going to be, like I said, for 2 hours, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays. And that's live coaching. That's live material, if you will, or some people call it classroom coaching. We're not really doing classroom coaching. And then Wednesday and Friday from 1 to 3 is what they're calling Coaching Corner. And what that is where all the coaches are coming together, the bowl coaches, from 1 to 3 Wednesday and Friday, and anything you want to be coached on, you're getting coached on in a group setting. So it's stuff that we covered in Bowl Pivot, and it's stuff that people just have questions about. And so it's a completely digital experience to help you through the month of May. It's only for the month of May. It's $99. Everybody in the country can use it. This can be for agents. It can be for your recruits. It can be for vendors, anybody that wants to participate. And the subjects, a lot of people want to know the subjects. So the subjects are going to be what is important today. So the dialogue, the scripts, the conversation are not going to be from Bowl 2.0. This is all what's legitimate today. It's all being written actually right now. That's why it hasn't started yet. And so if you look at it, they're going to cover lead generation, database, mindset. They're going to cover profitability. Like, I don't know the last time we've talked about profitability, about the money we keep, right? So we're going to talk about that, the money we keep and how to keep it. We're going to talk about the conversations and dialogue and the market of the moment. So I'm super excited about it because it's not $800, it's $99, and it's super affordable for everyone. So I'd love for all of you to join. You go to mapscoaching.com. You'll see the link for Bowl Pivot, register, and love to have you guys part of it.
That's awesome. I'm so excited.
Any
So,
questions?
yeah, Abby, was there any questions about it?
I either did a really good job or nobody's listening, one or the other. It's okay.
No, you did a really good job, I guess, because there's no questions at this time.
Good.
Michael, can you be a little more excited, please? I want a little bit of passion when you talk.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I love you guys. I love it. And you know, I was working with Green Bay recently on this Bowl Pivot stuff. And because before we opened it up this week, by the way, it was only 4 market centers who had said, yes, I want to host a bowl. Remember, we're supposed to be doing bowl in March. And so it was only for those 90 market centers. And then they opened it up, and then other market centers started hearing about this $99 Bowl Pivot, and they started requesting it. And now it's like, it's just really taken off. And so Gary Keller opened it up to everyone, and it's going to be awesome. I'm excited about it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining our team meeting.
Thank you so much for having me. If anybody needs me, let me know, and I'm happy to coach you or coach anything you need, Kim. Thank you so much. Thanks, Scott, and everybody. You have a great day.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All righty. So what do we have next? We already had Michelle. All right, Scott, it's your turn.
All right. I got a couple things to talk about today, and we're just taking the most relevant information that we have, and it kind of seems like everything lately is urgent, and so we're looking at just continuing to find out everything new and how things change and everything that's happening. And first of all, with the stimulus plan and with these grants and these loans, there's a lot of confusion. If you guys are like me, you probably got 10 emails on it, and you're not really sure what to do or what it is or who applies or whatever. And so if there is one of my biggest weaknesses, it's applications and just having the patience to read what the words say and try to figure that out and where to sign. Like, I just want someone to say, do this, sign here, and be done with it. And so last week was pretty painful because we had to spend a lot of time doing this and researching it. And I just wanted to give you the bullet points, and this will be in your recap email. And first of all, I'm not a CPA. I don't play a CPA on TV. I'm not a banker. And so the biggest thing you'd always do is to check with your personal CPA and get this advice from them, because it obviously all varies person to person and your situation. So with that being said, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of what this looks like. So last Friday, there was a deadline for any small business owner to file a PPP, which is a Paycheck Protection Program. And it allowed us to apply for up to 8 weeks of payroll costs, and then you would get that as money, and you could use, as long as you use 75% of that money towards payroll and the other 25% towards approved expenses like rent and certain things, then that money would be fully forgiven. You wouldn't have to pay it back. You couldn't, you couldn't lay everyone off and then just take the money for yourself. But there's programs in place, or there's rules in place for that. This Friday, there is a deadline for any independent contractor to do the same thing. And what my personal CPA said regarding this, because I said, hey, what kind of advice would you give me around independent contractors applying? And this is exactly what he said. So he said we would recommend them applying for the EIDL loan, which is on the right. It's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And he said independent contractors are also eligible to apply for the PP loan on Friday. However, the PP loan amount may not calculate out to be more than the EIDL loan. So basically, you will most likely get more by applying for the EIDL loan. He just said, like, it definitely, for independent contractors, there's a lot of gray area. And so you would really want to reach out to your accountant and to your banker to get the scoop. I will tell you one thing, that bankers are all still figuring this out. CPAs are all still figuring this out. It was like an 1,000-page document, and they're like, hey, do this, in 2 days. And so last Friday was a scramble. We got all our applications filled out, and then they changed. So we had to fill them all out again. And we just have to roll with it. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to do certain things with it. But the biggest thing to know is that the application can be filled out, or can be submitted by a banker. And you don't even have to be doing business with that banker. So we had, thank you to Judy Hebner. She connected us with a really responsive vice president of Waukesha State Bank. And that's where I use our team's payroll, and our team, that's where I do my banking for our team and for my personal. And so we submitted the application on Friday for my team, the PPP for my team, and he was really responsive and really had it together. And the bank we use for our office didn't really know the plan yet, and they didn't understand it. So I said, well, I really want to get this in today, meaning Friday, because this is not like unlimited money. And so the sooner you can enroll and the sooner you get that, the more likely of a chance that you're going to get this money. And so I ended up submitting our office one to Waukesha State Bank as well, because he knew the rules, he knew what to do. It is also true that the banker gets paid by this program, and so it doesn't cost us anything to fill it out. It doesn't cost us anything to apply. And my understanding too is that the CPA, actually, my CPA said that he got paid by the loan too, or by the grant, or whatever you want to call it. And so our CPAs, if you ever talk about the busiest time they've ever had in their life, he hasn't, like last Thursday night, he said he didn't even really sleep. He might have slept 2 hours, because all he's doing is answering questions and filling out these applications around these two forms. And so this slide here will be in your email, and it tells you where to enroll, what to do. And just know that independent contractors on Friday, so you have 3 days to research this and to contact your CPA. We'd highly advise you looking at this and getting the game plan down now. So come Friday, your banker can submit it right away. You got to know you got to fill out the form. You got to know who's going to submit it. So come, like, you could probably even get it to them on Thursday night, and the banker then just knows right away, you're first in queue. They're going to work on you, versus trying to figure it all out on Friday, and then it's 4 o'clock or something, you're trying to scramble.
Okay.
Were there any questions, Abby?
One thing, can you hear me?
Yes, Judy, go ahead.
Scott, I'm just sending you over now. Oh, I'm sorry, was somebody else talking? Okay. We were getting information every day and things were changing, and all of a sudden they'd ask for one more thing and another thing. So I did ask Joel at Waukesha Bank to send me all the applications and all the items that were needed. So I'm going to forward that to you, Scott, and maybe anybody that wants this, it's just much easier of what you all need to get together. You can get it from Scott or whatever.
Judy, could you send that to Allison and she'll just put it in the team meeting recap?
Okay. Anything else?
Perfect.
Anybody else? Just Allison and Scott?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody will get it then. Perfect.
Judy, thank you too for that connection. And if you guys don't have a business banker or they don't know what is going on, we'll put this guy's information in there too, because he was super responsive.
It was all in there. What I sent, it was all in there.
Yeah.
His contact information. Yeah, he was phenomenal. He worked all on the weekend and everything. He was great.
Awesome. All right. Do you have anything else, Scott?
Yeah, they wanted me to talk about one other thing. So,
Go ahead.
we now with closings and with everything obviously happening, everything is changing. And so, however, we also always have thought this and talked on this. And when last week, or on Monday and Tuesday, we had like 16 or 17 closings at the end of the month. And so I just wanted to remind you, or to potentially talk or maybe shift a mindset around being proactive when setting closing dates. And so one thing I always did or always recommend doing when you're writing an offer, when you're either writing an offer or when you are getting an offer from a buyer agent, is take a look at that day that they set for closing. See if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Look in your calendar and see what you have going on. Like, picture that closing day being a reality, and plan ahead. And so if you have team meetings on a Tuesday, or if you have something really important on a Wednesday afternoon, or whatever the case may be, you would tell the client, like, okay, we're going to set this closing about 30 to 45 days out. Now, typically on Tuesday or Wednesday, I have this, blah, blah, blah. And you would say, is it okay if we do this closing on Thursday, and talk through that? Because when you set that up, we got to understand as realtors that we matter too, and we can be really proactive with our timing. And so it's very frustrating when lenders and buyers set a closing date and they don't even ask the realtor. I don't know if you guys have had that happen before, but if you can be really proactive with this, starting right from the buyer consultation meeting or right from the listing consultation. And our recommendation just for you is always to, as much as possible, see if you can avoid Fridays, because Fridays, if anything goes wrong, gets pushed into Monday, and typically they're going to have the movers and everything all planned for the weekend. And as much as possible, try to avoid the last couple days of the month, especially if the last couple days of the month is a Friday, because your client they're not going to get the best times to close. Everybody's scrambling, the closing department, the title department, every agent, everyone is in full scramble mode. And so if you're giving your clients the best service, you would tell them, well, at the end of the month, there's not going to be a lot of options. If something goes wrong, then it's going to have to wait, and blah, you future pace that situation to show that you're the expert. Because that's, in my opinion, the best thing to do with your clients. But then also with our office, if we have a closing on the last day of the month and we have to transmit our office and close everything down and close our books and our profit share and everything, and we have to wait now for a piece of mail or for that to happen, it's just really, really nice to not have to scramble and do all that at the end of the month from an office standpoint. But even from your own business standpoint, I just really encourage you to really be as proactive as possible with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
I can't walk up next to you to control the time. I just changed the slide. So thank you. You look very nice today.
Thank you. I got new suits every Tuesday because I ordered a bunch of suits before all of this. So Every
Yeah.
Tuesday, I'm going to unveil a new one.
Love it. Love it. All right, couple of things real quick, because we've got a number of people that need to. Masks of Hope, thank you, Terry Lewis, for coordinating this. Our goal is to raise $4,000 so that we can give 1,000 masks. And you guys, we just started this and we're already at over $1,400, which is pretty amazing. So in the team meeting recap, Allison will put the link on there again. Please, this is a great conversation to have with your sphere, your database, as well as post it on your Facebook group. So that is pretty amazing that we put that together so quickly. And as a little side note, I know that we're doing this through GoFundMe. When somebody makes a donation, at least when I did, it does automatically pre-fill, like with a tip. You can actually make that 0. So just know that you don't have to do that part. How to run hot sheets in MLS. A bunch of you asked about that. I did send a little video on the Monday email, so look for that. I'm not going to show you now, but this great piece that Allison put together. So every week we are running the numbers, and so you can certainly copy this piece. I wanted to show you this real quick. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but we have been tracking the numbers back to March. We went all the way back to March 1st and kind of creating our own visual for you guys. When you do run a hot sheet, you can only go back 45 days. So we wanted to really pay attention to what is happening right now in the market. So this piece here, you can see since March 1st to now April 4th, what has been happening. You know, these are great conversations. The good news is we are still selling real estate, but there is definitely a dip. The reality is if you look even back to March 15th at the number of new listings compared to March 29th, there's a significant difference. At the same time, you can see there's a whole bunch of solds that took place. You can also see that our expireds have increased. So this is just more to be aware so that you guys can have factual conversations with your buyers and sellers. Real estate will still sell. It does in every shift. It's just we may need to work a little bit harder and make more contacts in order to be the ones that are actually getting those new listings. So this is a document that we have for you guys as well. Red Day, just watch for further information. I just wanted you guys to know that Red Day is a go. It will be happening on May 14th. The committee will be Charisse and Jeff Nevin. Just watch for more information. Maybe we'll have a little collaboration Zoom where we can talk ideas. Obviously, we have to shift on what we're doing and can't show up in big crowds, but just keep that day open. We will come up with something creative. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. And Abby, I'm going to give it over to you. And I'm going to, am I stop sharing?
Yes, I will share my screen to get to command.
All right. It's all yours, Abby.
Okay, so I think Alex Dinamarca had shown this at some point, but I just wanted to remind everybody that you can upload any PDF to Command and actually turn it into a editable document. So Designs is over on the left. Click on that. And then I'll also show you where you can find that template for the numbers that Kim just showed, because that's now in Command as well. I'm just gonna minimize that. If you go down here to the little plus button, this is where you can find all the templates. So there's emails, social posts, print marketing, videos, or you can import your own PDF. So if you click on that, it'll open up to choose a PDF to upload, and then you can put your logo on it. So any of the marketing pieces, I'm not sure why it's not going. I don't know why it's not going.
It's just because you're on Facebook Live. That's what happens.
Oh, yeah, of course. So you can, this would pull an PDF from your desktop. Oh, here we go. Maybe I'll work now. Yes, so you can import a PDF or drag and drop it. and it will allow you to edit that, put your logo on it. So if you get any marketing pieces or anything from leadership or other agents or something you found on KW Connect, it's really easy to make that editable and upload it. Put your logo on it, really simple. So keep that in mind when you receive PDF marketing from any of us in an email or anything like that. And then to find those templates, those pivot templates, you go back, let's do it this way. They just, I think they recently added this and they actually called it the pivot marketing pieces. Slow, slow, slow. As we go, say we'll do a print. It's probably because I have so many pieces in here. It's trying to load like all 100 of them. Let's try this one. Here we go. Finally. All right, so you can see on the left, pivot, shift ahead. You can actually find all these really cool templates to put those numbers into. So when people are asking, how's the market, you can plug those numbers right into there. I know it says Instagram, but you can still download these as images and post them wherever. So if you click on it, you'll be able to put those numbers in that are sent out and put your logo on it, your photo if you want, and then you'll be good to go.
Ooh, those are awesome.
Yeah, they're really, really nice looking and there's tons of stuff in there. So if you need any help, you can let me know. Otherwise, Tech Tribe is still available with the email. So
Perfect.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
all I had.
Thank you. All right, to get back on track here. Let's see. I think Cindy, no, Jen, you're up next, Jen.
Okay, so I just have a couple things. One, I just want to send a reminder that tomorrow night is career night. We're doing it over Zoom. I sent a reminder email to everybody yesterday, and I think we have, I don't know, maybe 15 people that registered so far. I do still want them to register on that link. I think people haven't been registering because they just figure they can hop on the Zoom call. So I do expect more than that on there, but please feel free to share that again and then just remind them to register on the link. So it's going to be a Zoom. It's going to start tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. And the panelists are Cody Elger, Tina Reddick, and Julia Kellogg. So thank you, ladies, for helping me out. So that's it there. And then I don't know if I have another slide. Do I have one for Alex?
Yeah.
Congratulations to Alex Dinamarca that he just graduated the launch coaching program. Congratulations, Alex. We have one more graduating in 2 days, but we're going to save that for next week's meeting. So congratulations, Alex.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Great work, Alex.
All right. And then we do have Julia Kellogg. If you're listening, Julia Kellogg, you have 1 o'clock today, right after the team meeting, elevated level of communication. Can you give any bullet points on what you're going to be covering today, Julia?
Actually, I'm just going to start with kind of the communication even before you actually write the offer with the co-broke, as you're actually showing properties with your client, and then take you through what does that look like from start to finish to the closing table, all the things I do. And I've learned from a lot of other great agents that I've adopted into how I manage the process.
Perfect. Beautiful. Cindy.
Yes. So Just a couple of things, updates on the COVID-19 amendments and addendums. WRA did change or revise the addendum CV. They added a couple more bullet points and basically made it a little more self-explanatory. So it is in Zip Forms library, and it is also in the Google Drive now. So check it out again, and read through it to make sure that if you need to submit it or not. Also a reminder, if you do add addendum CV, an amendment has to be used to get it incorporated in with the offer. And then if you are going to extend contingencies, a notice still has to be done. So just keep that in mind. It's not just, you're just not adding the addendum. It's, you also have to notify, do a notice if it's going to be extended. Be careful with some of the language in there online.
Hey, Cindy.
Can you go back? Yeah.
We have a question about that. Do they need to resubmit it if they have the older one?
It's a good question. I don't think so. I think we just still have to be careful. The older one still stated we have to do notices too. So if it is going to be, any contingency deadlines are going to be extended, we just want to notice it. On the new addendum line 6, 15, and 16, just be careful of that, because if you put 30 days in and it extends past 30, if it goes to 31 days, the offer is automatically terminated. So you can cross that language out, or you can just make sure that you're aware of that and keep amending the offers. And then I talked about this last week. I just didn't have a slide for it. There is this new addendum, which it actually just covers our listings. This is not, I thought at first it was for buyer showings also, but it's more for our listings. There's 2 different check boxes. One checkbox, the first checkbox would be if you don't have an accepted offer, if you just have a listing and you want to incorporate this into your listing contract about showings. And then the second checkbox in line 7 would be if you already have an accepted offer and you want to incorporate this into for inspections and appraisals. This would be the showings. And it basically addresses it's taken the liability. This is our thing for our liability. It's taken the liability off of the agent and making sure that the seller is aware that they have to properly protect their house. And again, it is in Zip Forms and also in our Google Drive. And then next slide. Any other questions, Abby, on that? All right, so again, I'm just going to keep this slide in here every week, and it's just a nice reminder about continuing education and license renewal. So we do have 18 hours of continuing education we have to do. It's different this year. We used to have 2 electives we could take. They changed that. So now it's the 6 courses. These are the 6 courses we need. My suggestion is take it through WRA. That's the easiest way to do it. It's a whole total of $126 for all 6 classes. I have the website on there. And then once you do that, you can do the continuing education now. And you will get certificates at the end of each class. You're going to want to keep those in your file. Then you also have to renew your Wisconsin license. So if you go to the next slide, your Wisconsin license gets renewed, and that's through DSPS, and that is due by December 14th. So that's the deadline. So you're going to get a notice probably starting in October. You'll get something in the mail saying you have to renew your license. So that is what's going on this year. That is it, unless there's any questions.
I did miss one from Mandy about the addendum CV. Is affected by that if they do not have the CV docs on file within the transactions.
As of right now, our insurance will cover that even without the addendum, but our insurance agent said that could change.
Okay. And then with are those in the global templates in zip forms, that addendum?
Yeah, it's in the forms library.
Forms library, okay. And then just clarifying that continuing ed is for new agents as well. So even though they joined, say, January this year, they have to do it.
Yeah, so all the new agents who even just got their license last week, you're going to have to do continuing education again.
Yep.
Fun stuff. Hey,
Yeah,
come on.
fun. Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, and just as a little side note on that, anybody who gets their license activated through the DSPS before October 1st, 2020 will have to take continuing ed. So it's only those that get their license the last quarter of the year that will not. So, all right, thank you, Cindy. That was perfect. Allison.
Hi, everyone. I just had a couple of reminders. As you may have noticed from office emails coming from Abby and I, we've had numerous earnest money checks coming in the mail that don't have property addresses included. I'm not sure if it's just, a miscommunication with the buyer's agent and they're not telling their clients that they need that. But if you can just please, remind everyone that we need the property address when we receive checks. That's how we look up to see whose check it is. And then my next reminder is Michelle last week did send an email out and talked about it at the team meeting that Trust Funds is now live in MLS. So if you have a buyer who needs to submit earnest money for one of your listings, they can do the Trust Fund electronic check through MLS. If you need help with that, you can just, you can ask Michelle or I. We're pretty familiar with this now. And then my last thing was training recordings. So we are going to automatically record all of our Zoom meetings. And I'm going to work on a way to upload them so everyone has access to them if you need to go back and watch one. And I was talking to Kim, and we think creating a YouTube channel for our office is going to be the best way to do that. So stay tuned on details. I'm going to work on uploading recordings to a library in YouTube, and then I'll send out a link where you can access them. So hopefully we can get that figured out right away. That's all I have.
Can I just add to that earnest money really fast? One of the easiest ways to make sure that the buyer's agent is actually sending the property address is give them a sheet of paper that they need to fill out. Put the property address, the buyer's name, all that information, and say, please submit this form with the earnest money, and then you'll know that it's being taken care of. I know we've created something like that in the past, but it's really helpful. Then they know exactly what we need. It's not forgotten, and the buyer doesn't have to try and remember, what did I have to put in the memo line? Give them the sheet of paper that they need to submit with it so that you have peace of mind knowing that they're filling it out and that we are going to get the correct information, and then it gets deposited on time. Because if we don't know who it's for, it really shouldn't go into our trust account.
Awesome. I don't think Michelle has any updates. If you do, Michelle, just pipe in. But otherwise, we're just waving to say hello, Michelle. Next, I have Amy Canada.
Okay, sorry, I had to tie some 4-year-old shoe. So hi everybody, this is exciting, this Zoom stuff. There's been tons of information around about lending and credit scores and programs changing and all this stuff. So I don't want to go into too much detail. I know we're already at 1 o'clock, but Bill and I are always here if you guys have questions. I've seen some posts on the Facebook page about, you know, investors still doing lower credit scores, still doing, but for how long would be my question to that lender. Along with, remember, like documents were good for 120 days. They're now going down to only good for 60 days. So all this going on with uncertainty of people's jobs and everything, make sure that you're having just a quick conversation maybe with the lender for your buyer or the lender for the buyer of your seller's house, and just get confident in, you know, that lender. So things are changing all the time, as it always is. So sorry, this 6-year-old is gonna come in now. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, I want to remind you, we have our portfolio product. So if magically something goes away, we still have a portfolio of a portfolio that we can close loans on, fund, and everything like that. So I haven't seen anything like directly affect my buyers yet, but it's a crazy world we're in. So I haven't seen appraisals delayed. I haven't really seen anything abnormal. So, but if we can answer any questions or just make you feel more comfortable with your buyer's pre-approval or anything, please let us know. Bill, did I miss anything?
There are a few questions in here for you guys.
Yay!
If you were able to talk quickly about what's going on with FHA loans or credit score changes. And then is it a privacy issue asking the buyer's lender questions about details regarding their loan if you're the selling agent?
So good questions. I'll start with the credit score. So that is like it's changing all the time, I guess I would say. I've heard there are some lenders out there still doing 580. When will that change for them? Because it will change. Some lenders are cutting off at 640 for government loans. I don't know if everybody understands why, but I've asked this question from 3 or 4 different people because I just didn't understand, like, why is all of a sudden FHA and VA so risky? But remember the credit scores that those programs allowed. So the buyers of the people doing those loan programs already have iffy credit. They might already have like a shorter job time or something like that. So the credit score thing, just one sec. Okay, can you go outside? I can't talk and think at the same time. Okay, sorry. So credit scores, every lender, not every, but there are some differences. I've seen 580 still, I've seen then 600, then 620, then 640, then 660. Just be careful. Most of the time you will have an idea of if your customer has a lower credit score, and maybe question them and get an updated pre-approval with like a current today's date on it to make sure that as of today's guidelines, is that customer still qualifying? And then the other part about the privacy, I don't know, it's yes. As like if a selling agent called me and asked about the buyer, I would delay that phone conversation, talk to the buyers and the buyer's agent and find out, like I would gather the information that they're looking for and then ask the buyer and the buyer's agent if it'd be okay for me to make that selling agent more confident. But if the initial call from a selling agent is like, I want to know about this buyer, how confident are you? You know, most loan officers are probably going to say like, wait, I need to get the customer's permission. That's at least what I would do. But hopefully with all this craziness going on, there's a little more communication between people to make sure that as a selling agent, you're confident in the buyer. Does that help? Cool. Oh, you're welcome, Sue.
Perfect. I think the key in anything is over communication, I'm hearing, and making sure pre-approvals and everything is up to date. So that's awesome. Okay, cool. Is there anything else, Abby?
No, I don't think so.
All right, fantastic. We will get off this Zoom, and for those that are part of the launch program, you'll be getting on 1 o'clock with Julia and anybody else who wants to join. So Make it a great week. Thanks, everybody.